guys, welcome. This is Catherine and this is Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. As I was getting ready to unpen my goats and take them for a quick hike around the yard, and I thought that I would do a quick full homestead tour for you. As I've shown you bits and pieces, I've done partial tours, but I figured I would take you right through my front gate and kind of show you around. So right here is my two greenhouses. This is the one that we were in the process of skinning the other day, and it is not fully completed, but it is functional and I can start growing plants in it. Here's my little greenhouse, and I'll pop open the door so you guys can see. We have got, let's see if I can do this, lots of growth in there. So it is coming along and exciting to have fresh greens in the winter. We've been eating salads out of our greenhouse here for the last several weeks. It's been really nice, and I am not a fan of radishes, mostly because all I had was store-bought, and I can tell you that homegrown is so much better than anything store-bought. So now let's see if I can do this without tripping and falling. So over here is the front gate to my homestead, and I have to walk backwards. Let's see if I can do this without falling, and without dropping my camera. So this is what you see here is 5.5 years worth of work. When we started, we had no fences. We were open land. This was hillside with lots of bare grass and lots of native grasses. So we started with rabbits. I know I've told you guys that story several times, but we brought home one rabbit. And I had these wire cages. Let's see. I don't even know if we can see it here. Down on the ground. These are the cages I started with. I had 2 of them, and I linked them so that my great big Californian rabbit had both cages to share, and every day I would have to unzip tie them in order to change out her food and water. So not ideal. And then we started building our own hutches. These are all broken down heat treated pallets, a little bit of plywood. We went with the hardware cloth, not a great idea, but we were new to this, and they've actually stood up. This is my oldest grow out hutch. This is the one next to it is second oldest, and then the third oldest. And we've had them now for almost 5 years, still going strong. I do provide plenty of spaces for my rabbits to get up off the wire, so that is something you want to take into consideration regardless of what type of wire you use. It's nice for them to have some place to get off the wire. So now we're going to go this way, and I am a big proponent of open ranging. So that's my chicken coop right there in the background, my main coop. I do have some small transitionary coops over there, but we have our fences field fencing, and so my birds can just walk right through it. I do show you, and we have some areas cut out of the fence, so because sometimes we have some birds that aren't necessarily that smart and they get stuck behind the fence, so I'll show you where we've made easier access for them to get in and out. So, but this is my feeding station for my birds, and they kind of come and go. They are open range for the most part. They don't spend a whole lot of time here. They're more roaming about the property. They do tend to stick to just an acre or two. I occasionally find them in my front yard. They do like to scrape up underneath the rabbit hutches. I do have a breeding village of rabbits in the front yard, so separate and different than these guys. These are my grow out pens, so I do have my breeder village in the front yard. Bless my neighbors for being okay with all of this. So you can see that I've got a combination of ducks and chickens. They peacefully coexist. My goats are back there. So let's keep walking, and let's see. I should have, had I known I was going to be a YouTuber, I probably would have designed my yard so I didn't have to walk backwards. So I do have this pallet up here, and that's my chicken water, mostly because the ducks, this is shared water for them. And ducks are a mucky mess, and they run back and forth between food and water. And so what they do is they get a mouthful of food and then run over to the water, and they muck up the water in like seconds flat. So I try to have an area for my chickens to get to that the ducks don't get to, so that they've always got a source of clean water. Okay, so let's see here. Walking through, we do have this gate here, and At the bottom, we cut out the fence so that my birds can walk freely back and forth. So my goats can get through there too, the baby goats. They typically tend to not to unless I'm over here in the rabbit yard and they really want my attention. So let's see here, we're gonna open this up. Okay guys, excuse me. Oh, nope, stay Tootsie. Okay, clip my gate here so I don't have a mass escape. I am getting ready to, hello, in the middle of cooking supper, Joseph. Thanks so much for joining me. So it's still pretty early here, it's not dinner time yet, but will be soon. So nothing is level on my property. I do live in the mountains. Everything is kind of at a slope. So this is something we're gonna have to take into consideration as I get older, because I've watched my mom, who has foot and hip issues, struggle with the uneven terrain. Not a whole lot I can do about it, but that is a consideration if you're getting into homesteading, is really look at your landscape and what will work for you, not only today, but 10 years from today, and try and plan around that. So back here, I've got a sandbox that used to belong to my kids when they were little, and that is my duck pond. Oh, let's see here. Whoop. Okay. What this is, all this framing, is we are going to make a great big coop for not only our chickens and ducks, but we also have peafowl. And so that way they have a really large yard in order to be able to roam about. So we're going to go over here. This is the gate to my buck pen. And I can tell you that the more gates, the better. So the more little yards you can contain your animals into, the better. So in fact in here, let's see, I don't know if you guys can see, but I have chickens over here inside the goat pen, and we've got actually a secondary yard within that pen so that we could, if I need to get in here for whatever reason and be alone, I can pen. You can see there's Satan. He's evil, directly descended from the evil one. So at the bottom of his gate here, let's see if I can show you. Whoop, I got goats all over me. Goats all over me. Okay guys, so this area right here is cut out. And that gives, I got a goat trying to eat my phone. That gives my birds access to that pen, so they've got freedom of movement. My baby goats can also get in there. And Satan is actually really good with baby goats. And so all these kids just kind of flow back and forth between his pen and this big yard. Oh, and I like that. I really like that my animals have freedom of movement. Going around, this is my main coop. I've taken you guys inside there. My pea, oh my goodness, he is gorgeous right now. He's starting to present and just fabulous. Okay, so coming around the back side, I have another gate into my buck pen. Again, you cannot go wrong with more gates, the better. So transitionary coop, that is Son of Satan right there. And that is our second buck pen and his gate there. So another transitionary coop, I've got 3 of them total. I've got another one right here. So that is our secondary main coop over here. And that steel A-frame is what we use for some processing and butchering. This here in the background is my hay shed and milking parlor. And then we use an old cast iron tub to hold our bales of Bermuda hay. And then this structure here, it was my pig pen. And now it's an alternate goat house. I've actually got little goat houses all over the place. And these transitionary coops, my goats use for shelter during the day. And that works out really nice because the chickens are out and about. The goats like it for not only shade, but any sort of weather protection. And that's kind of the extent. So Life in the UP says, hello, it looks so nice there. We're covered in a blanket of snow and ice. Oh, I feel for you. As it's warm here, I'm in a jacket, although I could probably shed it and be just fine. I think it's in the mid-40s today. We're supposed to cool off a little bit more tomorrow. But generally, things are pretty comfortable here. I love my mountains. It's cloudy today. We had some rain earlier. We appreciate every drop of rain because we are considered high mountain desert. So you can see my goats, and I am getting ready to take them out, and we're gonna go for a hike in the mountains. But I thought I would pop in and show you guys around. And so let's see here. Over my shoulder here, that is my garden. And it's a series of raised garden beds. I don't necessarily have dirt. I have clay and rock. And so what I do is I collect all of our animal droppings, hay, shavings, compost. No, we don't have a lot of trees here. I am just a few miles from National Forest, and there is tall pines in these mountains. I have scrub oak. And we've got some really big scrub oaks on the property, but right up near the house we are grassland. We looked at other homes in the neighborhood that had lots of trees around, but we also have fire danger here, and that was something we took into consideration when we bought our property, was ways to mitigate fire risk. And so we were more than happy with having grassland, because it is something that I can keep knocked down. And also my goats like it. So, okay, so back to, there's my garden. It is right next to my rabbit hutches. Makes it really easy to truck in all the manure, all the rabbit waste, all the goat waste goes in there. Chicken stuff from the coop, I clean it out. I do deep litter method. I clean it out about once to twice a year, and all of that goes onto the ground in my garden, not necessarily into the beds. I put it more as mulch on the walkways. And then if and when I need more substance in my garden beds, I scoop up off the ground and put it into that. And in fact, my dirt, I have actual real dirt in my garden on the ground because of this, and it's actually squishy when you walk. It's kind of neat to see hard rock and clay transform into actual dirt. So there you have it, guys. I'm getting ready to take my goats for a hike and let them play on the rocks, and we do have some tall trees down there which they enjoy nibbling off of. So hey Lana, welcome. So I'm about to head out, go for a quick hike. We shall talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining me, and hope you enjoyed this quick tour. Like I said, this is 5.5 years worth of work. There was nothing here when we started. It's been a progression. So if you're just on the beginning stages of either planning your homestead or building, be kind to yourself, take it a step at a time. Know that you don't have to have huge and perfection right away. Just keep on plugging along. So thanks, Off Grid Lifestyle. I hope you have a cool day too. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.